I have always struggled with change. Like a cat moving house, I dig my claws into familiarity. But on occasion I am bold, adventurous even, and despite myself, I run toward the unfamiliar. Out of place, socially, spatially, out of time, far from everything I know. Everyone moved on their own time. Shift workers, cleaners, tourists, and business people all in one crowd broke off infinitely in their respective directions. All cities are like that, but here, there was a common etiquette. Stand to the right of the escalator and keep left on stairways. Sitting in a darkened cinema, light flickering across my face, I felt more alone than I ever have. In the beginning, I found myself alone at midnight, wandering through North Point looking for food and a SIM card. Despite my fatigue-induced panic, I noticed some locals walking their dogs, some Japanese breeds I had never seen at home. And I smiled at the novelty. I completed my mission and returned to the hotel too overwhelmed to be proud. But after that night, I looked upon the city with fresh eyes, emboldened by our previous encounter. Though the city seemed impossibly busy, occasionally faces would emerge from the flowing crowds, ask our names, and talk to us. On my first night, a man saw me crying at a table in McDonald's, fumbling with my new SIM card. He was a student from Canada. The waitress at Happiness Plus remembered our faces when we came in for breakfast. She liked K-pop and had a warm smile. At a restaurant, the sweetest little girl sat across from us with her exhausted father. She showed me pictures of her pet bird and talked about moving to Hong Kong. I told her I was from Australia and asked if she knew where it was. Yes, she said. My boyfriend lives there. Mine too, I replied. I loved those moments. The people whose kindness put a friendly face to an unfamiliar city. I spent my moments of quiet contemplation in transit. I grew accustomed to the MTR, confidently navigating from train to train almost entirely by myself, save for the maps on my phone. Returning from the cinemas late at night, carriages that were teeming with activity hours before were now quiet. Seats once occupied were empty. On our final night, we took the last train home. And so we sat, shoulder to shoulder, resting our heads on each other. Some of us sang together. And I walked out of the station wishing it had all felt like this. The good memories are all I see when I look back, even if I didn't regard them with fondness at the time. Climbing the endless steps of the 10,000 Buddhas, exploring Lantau Island, seeing the stray dogs, and looking for enlightenment with Mike. We spent our first rainy day at the beach of all places, and there was a torrential downpour we had to run through to catch the bus back. I made close friends out of classmates. We talked. We laughed. We watched films and we got lost. And I'm grateful that Hong Kong brought us together.